Hi, my name is Dan Tading, Mr. Tading here, for a quick orientation on high school math class. Here's my room. I'm now in P2 exclusively, and my email, dtading@rsdnmp.org. I want to go over a few things about my class. First, class goals, what's important? Throughout life, I've never stepped aside and used the quadratic formula. So I think it's not necessarily the importance of the curriculum, although you will use it if you move on to higher level math classes throughout college. But I do think it's really important that everybody learns these three things. First, that students become patient problem solvers. I think it's really important for students to be able to work through problems, whether it's working on your own house in the future, putting in your carpet, building something, or just life problems. It's important to have the patience to work through those problems. Second, to become self directed learners. We live in an age of knowledge where before it was difficult to find a lot of information. Now information is everywhere. So it's important first for those students to be able to look through the information and find what's useful, but also to direct themselves to what information they need to complete problems and to solve problems. And lastly is to become academic communicators. It's important for students to learn different types of vocabulary, whether it be with their friends, with their staff, or their teachers, with their parents, but also just to speak in terms of academia. So those things are important to be able to go through and change how you speak according to the situation. So those are the three things that we try to do in math class. Okay, as for the curriculum and methodology, we follow the California Common Core state standards, and we use a variety of curriculum, and I should say topic driven. So little typo there, but the main idea here is that we're going to follow topics through the California state standards. Um, our main source of curriculum has been CPM, but honestly, in this environment, in terms of you know our our program here at Stellar, I think it's important that we use a multitude and a variety of curriculum. So all of those will kind of be gone over as we work through the class. Uh, but the main thing is that it will all be on Google Classroom for students to recognize what they're going to be using that day. Everything we have, every lecture that I plan on doing, any new topic will be recorded and put on Google Classroom, so that way students can either review or if they're gone for that day, can go back and look at those lectures. And we also have individual tutor sessions. We Right now our Fridays will be dedicated for time for students to check in with their TORs or with a teacher for individual help. And we'll have individual tutor sessions on Fridays. We'll also have time there for students to do either test retakes or take an assessment if they are homeschool only. This is just a quick example. What we do with our recorded lectures is they will all be attached to the Google Classroom. I typically record them using a whiteboard program and then upload onto YouTube. So students can subscribe to Mr. Tading's Math on YouTube, or they can just follow along on the Google Classroom to see what lectures go along with which lessons. Again, here's my contact information, my phone on campus, but most importantly is my website. The website is also linked to the Stellar homepage. So you can click on the Stellar homepage, go to staff, and find Mr. Tading's website. And then this will link to this website. So I wanted to spend a moment to look at the class website. So here's the class website or Mr. Tading's website. There's a few links here. First is the ebooks for CPM here. That's just mainly so that way you can access the textbook, homework help online if we're doing problems out of the textbook. Um, for those of you who aren't familiar with CPM, it's a very collaborative curriculum. So right now we're not going to be doing a ton of group work through CPM, but we will be using a lot of the problem sets in there. So that way the students can access their ebook through that link. Every student will get a username and a password to be able to access that. This link is for class organization or supplies. There are certain worksheets that sometimes are uploaded into the Google Drive. This goes straight to our Drive folder. But it has things like graph paper or the syllabus for your class, those sort of things. Also, welcome back letters and just information regarding the class are in that folder. If there's any general documents that I would like the students to have that maybe pertain to all the classes, I'll put it right into the class organization supplies. Okay, and finally here, there is our Google Classroom. Now our Google Classroom, you'll be enrolled in one of the 3 classrooms, depending on whether you are in integrated 1, 2, or 3. Yours will have just one of these. So if I click here, maybe on integrated 1, for instance, it'll take you to the stream, which has the assignments that are posted and when they're due. Also, if you click on an assignment specifically, you'll have a link there to a copy of the assignment and possibly like a recorded lecture on that topic. Okay, also both on the home website and in Google Classroom is our class calendar. Now, if you access it through the Google Classroom, the calendar that will pop up will be only for that class. So I just use the calendar link here, and you'll see things only for. But if you access it through the school website, it says Mr. Tading's class calendar, and you can actually click on each date to see when assignments are due. And just be aware that there's a little key up here, but the red assignments are integrated 1, the blue integrated 2, and the green are integrated math 3. Okay, let's go back to the slideshow here. Grading, one of the questions I get a lot of times about our math class is how do I grade? So our tests and quizzes, it's a weighted system. Our tests and quizzes are worth 60% of your grade. Tests and quizzes range anywhere from a 100-point summative exam or a chapter test or a topic test down to a 5-point quiz. I believe in testing and quizzing often, so if not every day, every few days, so that way students can receive feedback, a lot of feedback on what they're learning. The homework and classwork is worth 30%, and the final is worth 10% of your grade. I do have test retakes. I go over those with the student in terms of how much extra points they can get for learning a specific topic or a specific type of problem. And then the late work, all late work is due on the due date. If it is turned in after the due date, it's subject to be prorated in terms of the points. So sometimes it's worth half. The main thing is that all homework needs to be turned in for any credit by that topic's test. So the main thing is that the students will communicate with me about work if they didn't turn it in on time. What to bring to class? Every day, it's important that students bring to class their Chromebooks and calculators. We do have a class set, although right now we're trying not to use the calculators in class, at least for everybody, so that we have time to clean them in between. I'm working on getting a calculator that is for the Chromebook, so that way they can just pull up their Chromebook and have the same calculator on their Chromebook. Their notebook. It's important for all students to have notebooks. Typically, I don't collect every assignment. A lot of times I just come around and check their notebook. They'll take their homework and they'll do it in their notebook, and then I check their homework and put their points in that way. So it's important that they have their notebook with them every day. And then also they keep that work for their work samples. And then writing utensil, I prefer pencils, but pens will also work. It's just sometimes you make mistakes, and especially in math, it's make a lot of mistakes and are expected to correct them. So I prefer pencils. And again, this is my contact information if you need to contact me. If you have any questions, feel free to call the school or send me an email, and I'll get back as soon as I get it. And appreciate your time and hope you have a great day and great start to your school year.